Okay, my husband and I are finally catching up on Yellowstone, and we just watched the first episode of season 5. As usual, I'm on alert for interesting musical choices and found one about 36 minutes into the episode. The scene is of John Dutton being sworn in as governor. Of course, we see the expected regalia of patriotism and smiling faces, but the music is ominous. Another composer might have started with something patriotic and then faded into the ominous theme. But Yellowstone composer Brian Tyler doesn't so much as hint at any kind of patriotism in the score. Instead, we see a young woman clearly singing the national anthem, but we don't hear it at all. There isn't so much as a hint of the tune or the chord progression. So why is this important? It underscores John Dutton's motivation, which is definitely not patriotism of any kind. Now, you might believe that he's motivated by power, greed, love of some of his family, or the love of the land that he's inherited. But the music is clearly telling us that he is not governing through any love of country with a capital C. Notice he doesn't have his hand over his heart, which tells us that composer Brian Tyler was in perfect sync with director Stephen Kay. So, what do we hear instead of the heroic strains of our national anthem? We hear the tolling of a bell, getting louder and clearer. So what does this mean? In 1624, poet John Donne wrote, "No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee." So the first part of this quote has to do both with the importance of each individual as part of a greater whole, and also with our need for companionship. Let's consider John Dutton in light of both. We've not seen John Dutton getting warm and fuzzy with people in the first 4 seasons, unless it's his grandson. And at the beginning of season 5, he's looking out at a long 4 years, mostly away from his home and family.
You have no friends in this building, John. You're going to need to bring your own.
Now, you might be thinking, he didn't really have any friends back at home, and certainly he's been shown as a ruthless man who'll go to any lengths to protect what he considers his. But what about the kindness he has shown up to this point? Clearly, he is someone who sees the worth in his fellow humans and is willing to step up and protect those outside of his family. At least, some of the time. The last part of this passage refers to funeral bells. John Donne is known as a metaphysical poet, and he's reminding us that in the end, we're all equals. We all meet the same fate. So are the bells signaling the impending death of John Dutton? Probably not. But they are certainly telling us that something bad is on the way. Let's not forget that Casey saw the end of us in his vision quest at the end of the previous season. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Even if you aren't familiar with this famous quote, this particular scene, with the ominous music and the bell ringing, makes it clear that John Dutton winning the governorship is not really a victory. And the bareness of the score, with no hint of patriotic music, allows that solo bell to take the central focus. Well, thanks for listening. Talk to you later.